Okay, so here's another picture. This is the one that we were just looking at with the empirical rule, 68, 95, 99.7. Now over here is when they take each one of these sections and they tell you what the probability is that something will fall in between here. And because it's a normal distribution, the area actually is the probability. Okay, it will make better sense here in just a little bit. Okay, but here we've got 68%. That's going from here to here. Well, if we cut that in half, we have 34% on both sides. Then we take the next bit, okay, and I'm not going to do the math, but we take this section and this section, and they're both 13.5%, and then this little piece and this little piece are 2.35% each, okay, and then the very, very end is 0.15%, and that's these little stragglers here, okay? And again, I'm not going to cut this up, but you can probably figure out why, how we got these. Okay, and if you can't figure out how we got these, just keep this on hand and you'll know what to do with it. Okay, so, and I mentioned this earlier, the areas under a normal curve can be interpreted as probabilities in a normal distribution. So I mentioned that earlier. You've got the area under the curve, and that's the probability that something is going to fall in that data, within that range. Okay, so in a normal distribution, the probability that a randomly chosen x value is between A and B is given by the area under the normal curve between A and B. So if I have a normal distribution, and I have, say I have A and B right here, okay, and let's say I have x, it falls right there, then I'm going to say, if I know the area of this right here, that's the probability that x is going to be between A and B. And again, we'll look at this and it'll make better sense. All right, so finding a normal probability. You're going to go, wow, that's really easy. Okay, so a normal distribution has mean mu, okay, right there, it's right smack in the middle, and standard deviation of sigma. And x value is randomly selected from the distribution. And this is where you look at it and go, ugh, that looks horrible. Okay, but let's look at what this is. P is for probability, here's x. This is just telling you where x is falling between. So if I look at just this part, this is mu minus 2 sigma. So I come down here, u minus 2 sigma is right here. Okay, and mu. Okay, and they've already outlined that for you. So x is falling somewhere between this. Well, I just need to come up here, and I know it's this section plus that section. So 34% plus 13.5% is 47.5%. Okay, so there is a 47.5% chance that x will fall between these two places. I hope that makes sense. So all you're doing is you're adding up the area, and that is the probability. Okay, so here's a handful for you to try. You may want to, well, pause this, okay? You're going to want this so that you can see where things are. And go ahead and pause and give it a try. Okay, so let's look at this. So the first one, x is less than mu. Well, here's mu. Mew, mew. Sorry, totally sounds like a cat. Okay, all right. Here's mu, I want to know what the probability is that I would pick something lower than this. And hopefully you're all thinking it. It's 50%, right? Yes, 50%. Because it's half. Okay, over here, x is bigger than mu. What is the probability that I would pick something on this side? Right again, 50%. Okay, so let's look at these now. These are going to get a little more specific. Now I have it between mu and mu plus 2 sigma, right here. All right, well, this is very similar to the problem that I just did. We've got 34%, that's this section, and 13.5%. So I just need to add those together. So 34 plus 13.5 gives me 47.5%. Okay, so if an x falls between those two places, that's what I'll get. Okay, and then this very last one, I've got mu minus sigma and mu. So if x is falling somewhere in here, again, this is an easy one. They've given it to me. It's just one of these sections, and it's 34%. So I hope that's what you got. All right. So that is a normal distribution. Now they have something that is called a standard normal distribution. And it's just a bell-shaped curve again, but this time the median is a 0, and instead of figuring out the standard deviation, they just come out and say the standard deviation is 1. Okay, so 0 smack in the middle, and these standard deviations have the letter Z, and we'll talk about that more in a minute too. All right, but it's 0 in the middle, and it goes from -3 to 3, so 3 standard deviations from one side to the other, which is what we looked at before too. Okay, let's do this in the next in the next video.